Good morning, everybody. We're in the den and just done an order online, and I thought, let's have 10 minutes with you lovely guys. It's 10 o'clock. It's the 20th. Can you believe this? The 20th of October. How the time is flying. Welcome to my channel if it's your first time. Fantastico. If not, you're going to have to try and make out of it what you will. Cancer patients and other patients alike, the issues. Now, remember, Jesus healed the leper. And how did he heal the leper? He put his hands on him and healed him, right? He wasn't worried about catching leprosy, was he? Yeah? He wasn't worried because he... I hate it when that bit does that. He wasn't worried about himself. Does that make sense? And anyone that works in the care industry should be service to others is service to self, right? If you look at a fantastic story, actually, during the First World War, the troops that were getting bashed up on the front line, horrific injuries. Morning, Karen Campbell, looking gorgeous. That bit there drives me mad. D. Allen, how you doing, sweetheart? Faye B, hello, Faye. How are you, darling? Long time no see. Hope you're all right. How's that gorgeous mother of yours? Is she all right? Yeah. So these two nurses were based at this sort of field hospital kind of building. And they had a little dog, and quite quickly they realised that all the boys that were being pulled off the front line were waiting on their way, Orson carting and that. All the people that were dying on the horses and carts, it was the journey and the time. So what these two ladies did, that were nurses, they said to the boys, find somewhere near the front line where we can get into and we'll treat people on the field. And they had a little motorbike, sidecar, boom, and let's take this dog. One of them used to cycle it, big skirts, flying out here with the big hats on. Bosh, looked like, the old Disco Crisp probably when they were flying down the road. So anyway, they got to this underground place, like a building underground, where they made this makeshift treating place for people with wounds. And bearing in mind, their limited stuff they must have had back then must have been unbelievable. Splints, leeches, they must have used leeches. I reckon they was using leeches, or was that the Dark Ages? But the point is this: when they come out of their base after a certain amount of time, if it's 3 months or 6 months, they never took their clothes off while they were treating people, and they had to cut the clothes out of their skin. Their clothes had grown into their skin, these two women. Now, there's a bronze statue of these two women and their dog. I don't know if it's in France or this country somewhere. But they were selfless. They weren't worried about bombs dropping over their heads. They weren't worried about getting mustard gas. They didn't care. They knew that they had a duty and an obligation which they'd made within themselves to go and help these people. These boys on the front line getting their arms and their willies all shot off and stuff like that. I mean, during the First War, I don't know if you know, but I think it was both sides because of the amount they had to make. They used to make wooden bullets. Wooden bullets, can you believe that? Oh, someone loves me. So this is the point. This is titled this morning, Cancer Patients. Now, I want to show you a video of a friend of mine that's just been to Maidstone recently. And she finds herself not being able to get the treatment. And she needs a treatment. She absolutely needs a treatment. So let's have a little look. Oh, hang on. No idea. Can you not have any idea?
We're not updated yet.
Pardon?
I'm not updated yet.
Is there anybody that would know?
So you probably won't get the gist of that one, but she just asked Ollie, how many COVID patients have you got in Maidstone? And she said none. And then she said, not that I know of. Now this is Pembury Hospital.
Maidstone Hospital.
Oh, Maidstone.
Well, exactly. So I'm 99% sure it's fine. That part was more or less empty.
Beautiful scene, isn't it? She said I could share these. How we win our war, ladies and gentlemen, is exposing.
Busy?
It's that my fingernails.
Empty. I think I've seen 2 patients. They don't look like COVID. I shall be asking though when I leave.
Why are the hospitals not busy, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you'd have thought, right, if you've got common sense,
Deadly quiet.
you'd
Weird.
have thought that they'd have been busy,
All
right?
my visits here, I've never known it like this.
Now, my mate here's got breast cancer, or did have. I don't know what she states she's at the minute, but she's gone to have a chat with some consultant. But what is going on in these hospitals?
It's eerie, really weird.
Hospitals are for sick people, right? Where you go when you're not well. Walk this way.
Oncology and reception. Let's see how many people they're looking after with cancer. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Amateur footage this is, ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the beat. Can't beat your amateur footage. This ain't BBC or ITV. This is real talk. Can you handle real talk? Can you? I wonder. Most of you can. Tune in. Very clean, isn't it? Very clean. There's nobody there, you know. Oncology, this is. I think oncology is cancer, isn't it? It's a funny old name, isn't it? Oncology. Looks like Costa's shut as well.
Yeah, busy.
Ever so busy, look, these hospitals. Ever so busy. Ever so busy. What else we got? Picture here. Oncology. Next, please. Pick your ticket out. Because wherever you go to these government buildings now, and hospitals are just government buildings, you have to pull a ticket out, don't you? Go to the DVLA office, you're going to pull a ticket out, wait for your number to be called out. 72. Ew, bingo. No, love, not bingo. Just come up and pay your road tax. Come on. More evidence hospitals are empty. Yeah, listen, got to wake up. My Mrs. family have been down a weekend. She's got a pacemaker. And she said, I've put off going to the hospital for the last 4 or 5 months because obviously I don't want to get in there, getting the MRSA, TB, this, that, the other. She said, well, I don't know what's going on. She said, I've hardly seen anyone. And it's worrying her. It's worrying. So the point is this. You would have thought that if we use the analogy of Jesus healing the lepers and anyone that puts themselves up for service. Now, if myself worked in the National Health Service, because I love people, you see, I love people, I love their souls, I love their energy, I like them, I want them to be free, I want them to be happy. That's why I do what I do. If I was in the medical profession and I was wearing a mask, or someone shared a picture with me yesterday of a face mask, I tell you what, I hope you've had your breakfast. I really do hope you've had your breakfast. This is a skanky. That is a face mask. I don't know if you can see all the bits and bobs in it. Look, oh, that's a discarded face mask. Can you see all the... Wow, I can probably make more of it at mine. It looks like someone's phlegmed in it. Oh, so yeah, disgusting. But how many people are dying at home? How many people are not getting that needed attention that they need? Now, look, the National Health is there for you, free at the point of delivery. That's what Nia Bevan set this thing up for, so that you can get treated, so that you can have peace of mind, so that you don't have to worry about, can I afford a doctor? Can I see a doctor? And what it was all about upping the health levels of people, health and wealth in this country, because prior to that, it was a lottery situation. You know, I've told you, but my nan had to have a poultice on her chest when she was a kid, and she many a times over the years after a few Shinzanos used to show me her scar here, and I just go, oh my no, you know, but she only lived because the doctor poulticed her up. But it was before the National Health Service, and she said, you know, we all breathed a sigh of relief when that come along. She said, because it was like, we can all get treated, we don't have to worry about getting a panel doctor and paying a few pence a week. Now, maybe it would be advisable that we all did that. I'll put it to you this way. If you was to take home everything in your pay packets and not pay all these illustrious taxes that the HMRCs and that want you to pay, I just want you to imagine for a second if you had an extra 20, 30%, 40% in your wage packet each week, each month. You could quite happily afford your own private healthcare, you know, and make sure your family's covered that way. Personally, I think taxation should be abolished for private individuals. I think tax should only appertain to the business world and companies, corporations. That's it. I think the only thing that needs to pay tax in this world, considering most things are already built anyway, the roads, the schools, you know, we don't seem to be going without. So let's make taxation just something that government pay, and that the big corporations, the big businesses like Weatherspoons and post offices and all them kind of corporations pay, but not the private individual. If we left the private individual alone, you'd have such great lives. You wouldn't have to worry. You really wouldn't have to worry. But we need to get away from this dichotomy, and the dichotomy is that the system is shafting us all, very much so, on every level. But if you've got cancer right now, or you've got a heart condition right now, it's very troubling times. There are a lot of people dying at home in severe pain because of what's going on right now. And all the other people out there going, oh, this COVID, they've got a thing called long COVID now. Long COVID. See, it's mutating, isn't it? It's not just now COVID-19. It's not. It's mutating. It's getting all these attachments to this. It's some clever virus. I mean, it really is just uberly clever. It knows what time you're in. It knows when you're going out. It's got a tape measure. I don't know if it's got a Stanley tape measure. They're pretty good Stanley ones, the old snapbacks. I've just ordered a new one online. You know, it knows when you're 1.5 meters away from someone, or a meter or 2 meters. Bearing in mind, if anyone does sneeze, a sneeze can travel 18 foot, 20 foot. You've got no idea how far a sneeze can go. And we're in this environment now where we're all too scared shitless to go out. We're all too scared of a bug. But if you've ever got up in the morning and the sunlight's beaming through your window and you flip your pants up in the air, before you put them on, put a bit of air in them, you'll see the dust particles, or you flick your duvet up, or you pick anything up, you see the dust particles flying around the air. You know, you've all seen it when that sunlight's coming through your doorway and you go, my God, it looks like a column of light coming down and hitting the floor, and you can see all the particles flying around. Do you honestly think that this virus would be particular in what time it attacks you, how far you are away, on what particular day, whether it's Christmas Day? Apparently Boris Johnson saying now, we're going to let you out of your bubbles on Christmas Day so you can enjoy yourselves and your family. I mean, come on. Peeps, honestly, I do despair. And it's to me, it's like the government keep doing these things to get you all to wake up. Put a face nappy on. I think that was all about getting you to stand up and rebel and say, no, thank you. But yet, no, the Brits, the English, just roll over and do what they're told. Now, if Boris Johnson said tomorrow, I want you all to stick your fingers up your bum and walk around the high streets, I'll make sure that I think that people would do that. I think that the English would find a way. The English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh would find a way of how to stick that finger up their bum and walk around in a very comfortable position. Why? Because Boris told them to do it. Now, I'm hearing reports that Liverpool, the test bed centre of this carnivorous government, they seem to be standing up. The people of Liverpool are not taking this lying down. And let me tell you, that's an amazing thing that the Liverpudlian people never cheese off a scouser. They're hardcore. They're hardcore. But apparently they're not having it. They are not having it. Now, the easiest way to beat this thing is to turn off your TV, stop reading the newspapers, and don't pay no attention to the radio. And then life will be, oh, okay. All of a sudden you're breathing, you're just living your life. You're not worried about all this stuff. Because it's the fear. My in-laws have just been down and you can see the fear in them. You can see the fear in them, and it breaks me. It really does. And what is everybody fearing? They're fearing an invisible enemy, something they can't see, feel, or touch. And it's so unfamiliar to them because they know when a bomb's coming over, they know when a tank's rolling down their street, they can deal with it. But they can't deal with this little invisible thing. But for the amount of people that are getting this, whatever it is, as a consequence of people that can't get into hospitals because they're being failed by the NHS. And the NHS is failing people because if they're so insistent on these face masks being worn and they go into hissy fits about the fact that you won't wear one, it must mean that these masks really do offer significant protection against the virus. But yet, in hospitals, they're all wearing them, but they still won't have you in there. I don't understand it. That must mean then, if they're fearful of having people in hospitals and treating them for cancers, ulcers, colitis, all these other bits and bobs, it must mean that they have concerns over the masks, maybe, and the fact that they just don't work. I actually think that the government are trying to get people to snap out of this conscious prison that they find themselves in. I can't see any other reason for it, but still they just carry on complying. They carry on paying the fines. They carry on wearing the masks. They carry on being good little slaves. But we'll have to wait and see. But to me, I just don't understand why the hospitals are shut up. I can't understand why they're empty, because I would have thought that, I mean, even if we look at the Nightingales Hospital that they set up in Canary Wharf, there was only ever 20 beds being used in that building. And they pretty much sectioned off the whole side of it and converted it into this makeshift, whatever it was, hospital. And don't get me wrong, preparation is a good thing. To be pre-warned and pre-armed is a good thing. You know, that's why we've got condoms in the world, in case you don't want kids. But they've shut all these things down. And yes, people are dying. People are dying every day. And I would say that more people are now dying with cancer and illness-related diseases and illnesses that they can't get treatments for than actually of this pandemic itself. Did you see the woman wearing a mask whilst giving birth? Oh, now that's dangerous, because let me tell you, when you've got a melon coming out between your legs, you're breathing very deeply and laboured breathing. Let me tell you, Jesus, fancy wearing a mask when you're having a baby. Oh, my life. So, ladies and gentlemen, my point is this. Why are the hospitals empty? And they're saying, oh, well, we don't have these people in hospitals, we send them to the satellite hospitals. Well, they're not busy, they're empty. So somewhere, there must be somewhere where you've got all these people that are dying of this. They must all be on ventilators, but it's not the case. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute people ain't dying. People die every day of all different bits and bobs. People die sitting on the toilet. People die of a bee sting. People die falling down the stairs. People die falling off a cliff. People die skydiving. People die every day. And people are born every day. You going out?
In a minute. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, how long are you going to be?
You know why?
That's all right, I'll come out there. I've got to go and let the horses are going out horse riding this morning. Another dangerous activity, but it's not stopping them live their lives. There's two of them, the missus and young Tia, just going out. You know, if you look at that in the same context, don't get on the horse, don't get on the horse, don't live your life, don't go out. You know, you would look at that horse, you just see that horse running around that yard all the time until it dropped dead, never done nothing with it. You're not living your lives, are you? So they're going out now, they're going to go and live their lives, and they're just going out with no fear, just having a nice time. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to carry on as normal. We must not accept this new normal. I'll see you all very soon. I'll come back to you later tonight. God bless you all.